For decades, flyovers, bridges, and monumental road junctions have been the most visible symbols of government performances across many Nigerian states. Every election cycle, impressive concrete structures often dominate campaign materials and commissioning ceremonies. But in recent years, a new conversation has emerged. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu challenged governors to focus on projects that directly improve the lives of ordinary citizens rather than concentrating solely on prestige infrastructure. His message emphasized that the true measure of governance is how government investment improves healthcare, education, jobs, agriculture, security, and economic opportunities for the people. Across Southeast Nigeria, many observers argue that the shift is already becoming visible rather than measuring success by the number of flyovers alone. Discussions are increasingly centered around hospitals, smart schools, industrial parks, agricultural projects, digital governance, urban renewal, investment promotion, and improved security. This documentary examines whether Southeast governors are redefining development not by abandoning roads and bridges, but by ensuring they become part of a much broader strategy focused on improving everyday life.
And they should do more to, instead of flyover where there's no numeric traffic, build roads and arteries network to really enhance the quality of life and the accessibility of the security agencies to penetrate those areas.
Roads remain important. No economy grows without transport infrastructure, but economies often distinguish between connective infrastructure and productive infrastructure. A flyover may reduce congestion, a hospital saves lives, a technical college develops skilled workers, an industrial park creates manufacturing jobs, an innovation hub attracts technology companies, an agricultural processing zone increases farmers' income. These projects generate long-term economic value beyond their physical appearance. Development experts have consistently argued that infrastructure should be evaluated by its economic and social returns rather than its visual appeal alone. Increasingly, several Southeast governments are combining traditional transport projects with investment in education, healthcare, digital technology, and industrialization. The question is no longer how many bridges were built, but rather how many lives became better because of government investment. Each Southeast state is pursuing different priorities. In Enugu, investment has expanded beyond urban roads into smart green schools. Across all wards, Type 2 primary healthcare centers, AI-assisted security systems, an international conference center, an international specialist hospital, tractor assembly, and the new Enugu Smart City initiative. These projects seek to combine education, healthcare, technology, security, and investment attraction alongside transport infrastructure. In Abia, government reforms have emphasized road reconstruction alongside healthcare. The proposed medical city, ease of doing business, reforms, and industrial revitalization. Anambra continues to focus on innovation, education, security improvement, urban planning, and investment promotion under its long-term development agenda. Meanwhile, Ebonyi continues investing in concrete roads, construction, while expanding healthcare, housing, ICT education, and agricultural infrastructure. Imo has promoted infrastructure renewal alongside broader economic development initiatives. Although implementation differs from state to state, the conversation has clearly evolved beyond flyovers alone. The most successful public projects often become invisible because citizens simply begin using them every day. Parents notice shorter travel times to hospital. Farmers access markets more easily. Students learn in better classrooms. Businesses obtain permits faster. Manufacturers enjoy improved logistics. Doctors work with better equipment. Investors gain confidence. These are the practical outcomes that define modern governance. Economic development is increasingly measured by improvement in human capital, productivity, private investment, and quality of public services, not merely by the number of structures commissioned. Visible infrastructure remains valuable, but invisible improvement in governance often have greater long-term impact. That is why governments around the world increasingly prioritize projects whose benefit extends far beyond ribbon cutting ceremonies. Nigerian states now receive significantly higher revenues than in previous years due to fiscal reforms. This has increased public expectations. Citizens increasingly ask, where is the money going? Are projects creating jobs? Are hospitals functioning? Are schools improving learning outcomes? Is agriculture becoming more productive? Can businesses expand more easily? These questions are reshaping public accountability. President Tinubu has repeatedly urged governors to focus on tangible improvements in citizens' lives, stressing that people should remain at the center of governance and that real results, not distraction, should define leadership. For many Southeast administrations, this changing expectation appears to be influencing project selections and policy priorities.
You have governed before as the governor. You need to help us communicate to these governors. Today, the economy of operation is high. More the money that I'm pushing to the states, if you had it during your own time or during my time, it would have been different. They are taking 4 to 5 times their money. In the past, nobody is borrowing money to pay salaries now. Pensioners are receiving their pay and gratuity.
Competition among Nigerian states is changing. Today, states increasingly compete for investors, industries, conferences, technology companies, and skilled workers. A state with reliable healthcare, quality education, security, digital infrastructure, efficient transport, and business-friendly policies is more attractive than one that relies solely on monumental construction. This explains why several Southeast governments are simultaneously investing in airports, specialist hospitals, industrial clusters, ICT infrastructure, agricultural value chains, and urban renewal programs. These investments aim to improve competitiveness rather than simply create political landmarks. Development is becoming less about what government builds and more about what those investments enable citizens to achieve. Flyover will always have their place. Bridges will continue connecting communities. Roads will remain essential. But modern governance demands much more. The future belongs to government that build economies, not just structures. Government that improves schools, hospitals, industries, agriculture, technology, security, and public institutions. Across Southeast Nigeria, the development conversation appears to be evolving in that direction. The region's greatest achievement may ultimately not be its tallest bridges or its biggest flyovers. Instead, there may be healthier citizens, better educated children, growing businesses, modern industries, prosperous farmers, safer communities, and a stronger regional economy capable of competing nationally and globally. Because in the end, the greatest infrastructure any government can build is not concrete, it is opportunity. The future of development is no longer measured by the number of flyovers or bridges a government builds. It is measured by opportunities created, the jobs generated, the hospitals that save lives, the schools that shape the next generation, and the industries that powered economic growth. What do you think? Has Southeast Nigeria truly moved beyond celebrating flyovers and embraced people-centered development, or is there still a long way to go? Share your thoughts in the comments. We would love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our in-depth documentaries on Southeast Nigeria, Igboland, Nigeria, and Africa's transformation. Share this video with your friends and family to keep the conversation going. Thank you for watching 1010 Media, documenting Africa's stories, today for tomorrow.
More Digital City Limited serves as the primary engine for the state's ambitious goal of training 300,000 youths by 2026. During a press engagement at the facility, the general manager of IDCL, Barrister Stella Ozo Ezenduka, outlined how the center is optimized to meet this target through high-demand skill development.
These things are run in stages. We are on the 4th stage now, the upcoming. It first started with the application, and people applied online, strictly online, and were screened online by our foreign partners, the US mark you mentioned. And they now came on site and launched it on the 7th of January this year. And that occasion was graced by His Excellency, Executive Governor of Imo State. He came by himself and launched it. And since then, it has been running both on-site and online.
A guided tour of the premises, led by Hub Supervisor Primus Amefule, showcased the diverse ecosystem housed within the city. This includes the incubation hub, where developers are currently working on various software solutions, and a specialized call center. The students currently enrolled. The facility provides an immersive environment that many say is a departure from traditional classroom learning.